Thank you. I'm so used to speaking to rooms like this, talking about expansion. It's quite a relief to have something else to talk about. But I have to say I'm quite a private person. I don't normally like speaking about myself, so this is quite unusual for me. And I was at an event this morning where I was talking about expansion, where I met a young man who is a chocolate entrepreneur. Louis Barnett, lovely man. He founded his chocolate company 10 years ago. He's only 23, and he exports all over the world. So he started his business when he was 13. And it reminded me of my first business memory that I can think of, which was when I was 9 years old. I'd recently moved down from Cumbria, where I was born, to Hertfordshire, so it's a bit of a culture shock. And I found myself at a school which didn't have any sweet shop, didn't have any tuck shop. And somehow, I found myself setting up my sweet shop. I would take my pocket money. There were two of us in this. We would take our pocket money. We would buy sweets. We'd buy a tube of Chewits for 5p, and there'd be 10 Chewits in the pack, and we would sell them for a penny each. So we'd double our money with every pack that we sold. And we'd do that with we had a whole range, a selection of sweets. And this became big business. Every day we would sell out, and we'd reinvest all the money we'd made in buying more. So we were doubling our sales every day. And this was doing so well that we came to the attention of the authorities, the regulator, in the form of the school, who didn't know who it was, but decided they were going to clamp down. So we first had to go underground, and then we realized we were going to be driven out of business, so we decided to liquidate our stock. And the two of us sat down and ate the entire supply of sweets. And I don't think I've ever had such a sugar high in my life. But that was my first business memory. I'd like to say that led me down the path of business, but it would be unfair because I was only reminded of it today for the first time after seeing Louis today. But my path has been quite a varied one coming to where I am today, and there's been no linear route that I could follow to how you become chief exec of a business like Heathrow. And it's probably right that there isn't, because it's such a varied business. But I thought I might just touch on some of the points in my career which have helped to shape the way that I approach business. And those of you who know me and know Heathrow and the things we're doing there will help to give you some sense for why we do things the way we do them. And I suppose the starting point is both my parents were teachers. And I grew up in a small farming community in Cumbria and then moved down south, where we lived very much in the local community. The school's very closely integrated in the local communities. And I think that gave me a strong sense for community, a strong sense of values, of doing the right thing, of including people, trying to understand people, being fair, but also of the transformational opportunities of education. That with the same inputs, different people can go to different places, based very much on their own personal drive and motivations and aptitude. And I've always found in business that has been the case. And yet there are many people that you come upon in companies who have that potential that just have not been able to tap into it yet for a whole bunch of circumstances. And one of the most rewarding things that we can do in business is to help people to tap into that. One of the things I enjoy doing most at Heathrow is the Academy Graduation Awards. And the Heathrow Academy is something where we take people who've been unemployed in the local area, and we help to get them ready for work. And we have about 1,000 people go through there every year, of whom about 500 or 600 come to work at the airport. And some of them are people who've fallen off life's ladder. People who may be a mother whose marriage has broken down, her kids have left home, she's never had to work before, and she just doesn't know how to go about giving herself a livelihood. And we help her into work. And one of the great things about that is seeing just the personal satisfaction people take from having that opportunity, the self-worth that comes from having a job. And then seeing them a few years later when they're now the sales manager for Dixon's. And they've created a career, they've got friends, they've got a future. And that is something that is quite rare that most of us who hire people can do to change people's lives for the better.